Hey, everybody. Welcome to the CRE Chat Live podcast. I'm Casey.
Hey everybody, I'm Melissa.
And thanks for tuning in. We are here with our August guest host, Atypical. They hosted our CRE chat on Twitter, and our topic that we discussed was personal branding. So thank you, Sarah and Mark, for joining us today.
Hey, here. Thank you.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about who Atypical is and what you guys do?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Casey. So Atypical, essentially, we're a full-service marketing agency. We operate exclusively in the real estate space. So all of our kind of domain expertise and experiences all in the real estate space. So we do everything from strategy, so helping clients understand what their roadmap is, then execution, where we actually put either a dedicated team together to actually handle all of your kind of marketing activities, or on a sort of project by project base, or we do sort of specific campaigns for making a big splash in the real estate industry. So yeah, that's us in a nutshell.
Yeah, I know you guys work with a lot of well-known businesses and commercial real estate, some that you probably can't name, but I know you guys have had a lot of successful campaigns with everybody that you've worked with. So thanks for being our August host, and I'm ready to jump right into the first CRE chat question if you guys are.
Let's do it.
Awesome.
So our first question on CRE chat was, what is the definition of personal branding?
Yeah, so we really feel, you guys, Casey and Melissa, you guys are the definition of personal branding. It's really designing and kind of telling your story and marketing yourself as a brand. So, traditionally people have done it focusing on companies and organizations, and personal branding is who you are and defining who you want to be known as.
Yeah, and we've had a lot of great responses too. I know Gabriel Gonzalez said it's what people say about you when you're not in the room. So a lot of people said it's your reputation, it's your resume. We had a lot of great responses on this question.
Yeah, I think that's true. And also, really you can't control, what I love about personal branding is it's within your control. So if you really take control and focus on how to create a brand, then it just kind of evolves and it becomes who you are. So I loved if you actually take time to focus on it, which, using a company like Atypical makes it a little bit easier because I know we're all very busy in our jobs. It really helps to kind of create that brand and create that kind of who you are to everybody else around you.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. The sort of
and
who you are.
In our sorry, go.
I was just saying that I think the sort of who you are is a very important part of it. I think, defining what your brand is and the exercise that you need to go to in order to kind of define how you want to position yourself and what's important to you, and that story that you're going to tell is a very interesting exercise. And I think it's, once you actually identify what is important to you and what you're good at and what that brand story is, that's good for developing your personal brand. But I think it's also really important to, the clients that you work with, because having that sort of authentic sort of story and not trying to be a company that you're not and being a brand that you're not is very important. And I think that's something that clients really enjoy, is working with people who actually do understand who they are and understand what they're good at and what strengths they can sort of bring.
Yeah, and I think in our business, perception is reality, unfortunately. So if you are not a personal brand and you are not online and you have a bad day, that information can spread like wildfire. Our industry is very small. But if you've established your personal brand and you know what, you had a bad day, everyone's like, oh, I know who they are. That's like not them at all. They're great to work with, and again, you can define online who you are and what your reality is and what the perception is. You can tell that story and be in charge of that, which is awesome.
Do you think that that's something that's kind of forced or something that you can create your own story, or does it come more natural?
I mean, I think whatever you're saying, you got to back it up. So, I mean, you have to come with the goods. So if you're, saying that you're XYZ, that you have to make sure that you fulfill that. I mean, you can tell a story, but you're going to get caught eventually. I think the most important is being genuine, and it's hard to fake someone you're not, So I would say, naturally is the best approach for sure, but it takes work. It takes work for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think when you align something that you really enjoy doing, and you've kind of overlapped that with the work that you do, and that becomes your brand, it is a very sort of rich experience when people sort of interact with that. So I think, and it's not that easy. I think it is something that needs work. And I'm jumping a bit ahead to kind of some of the challenges, but I think people, they get this idea that I need a personal brand, and they kind of try and copy something that they've seen work before. And it's important to take the time to understand, first of all, what are you trying to achieve before you actually start doing it.
So it takes a little planning on the front end, is what you're saying, Mark.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it is a bit of I think of myself, I'm not sure, maybe people have got different sort of perceptions of what my sort of brand is, or me as a person, and how closely that's linked to the company. But that has evolved over the years. And I think as you get older and you become more sort of confident in yourself, and I think when you're younger, you feel a lot of pressure to kind of just do what everybody else is doing, kind of to fit in. And as you get a bit older, I think you appreciate the little things that make you a bit different and a bit weird. And those are the things that actually become, what actually makes the personal brand stand out a little bit more, is those things that maybe scared you as a sort of earlier on in your career.
Hence your nail polish on your fingernails that I just saw.
I know. I just saw that too. I wanted to know the story behind the polish. Like, do you have a daughter?
I've got 3 sons.
So that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Looks like colors.
So my middle son, who's 5 years old, he loves wearing nail polish. He loves wearing dresses, and he stopped doing it because he was very conscious of people sort of commenting that that's not what a 5-year-old boy should be doing. And this is me saying, well, if dad does it, then it's maybe you feel it's okay to do it as well. So I started wearing nail polish about a couple of months ago, and in an effort to kind of show him that he shouldn't care what people think, and he should be doing whatever he wants to do. So
that is really cool. I commend you for that. And I think I will say that's a great transition point, because I think one of the things about having your personal brand is, it's your brand, but you also need to build a tribe around yourself that really believes in you and supports you. And we talk about this, I think, on every single chat, is we need mentors in this business. But part of that brand is having people that believe in you and sing your praises and tell your story along with you. So I don't know if you guys want to speak to that at all. I don't know that we really covered that on the chat, but I think I'm really passionate about that. I think especially in an industry where a lot of people wear the same thing, look the same, and it's hard to even, you're going back to what you're saying, Mark, about to be yourself, because you want to just fit in and you want to go with the norm. So when you are more authentic and you have those around you who support you, it's really a great thing. And I think that strengthens your brand.
Yeah. And I think the way we want to achieve that in Atypical is the campaigns that we build and the stories that we help our clients tell. Those stories kind of carry our brand with those stories. So it's not about, pushing our own sort of skills and services. It's about helping our clients actually to tell their story. And in telling their story, our sort of story goes with it for the ride. And that's a much more sort of fulfilling experience for me, certainly, is actually, putting in the effort and building and I think we've done some pretty amazing campaigns that certainly have kind of caught the attention of people. We've pushed the envelope, we've taken some risks. Not all of them have panned out, but we've certainly sort of, tried to do things a little bit differently and be the ones who are taking the crazy risks. And I think that's, so our clients kind of help us build the brand.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And the industry has been, Mark and I have been in this industry for such a long time now, and we've just built awesome relationships. And since, it's just really been nothing but love. So I think, building those relationships just like you do offline, I think online is just as important. And, we definitely have supporters, advocates, friends who really, really believe in us in this industry. And it's been really heartwarming.
And I like how our second question of CRE chat was really describing your personal brand in 10 words or less. And I think we've talked about all our personal brands and what they are in general, but I also really liked how different we all are in commercial real estate. Yeah. So I loved this question and love the feedback because it really shows how far our reach is, the different sectors that everybody is in. So what is Atypical's personal brand, and where are you guys located, and how can we contact you? What would you say your personal brand is?
So, you said 10 words or less. So if 10 words or less, I'll answer that, and then I'll let Mark hop on. But we're different. We're a marketing agency. We are commercial real estate, technology, strategy, dedicated, teamwork, imagination, and of course, award-winning.
I liked listening to where everybody was from. We have Damien from Hawaii, who helps solidify CBRE's Hawaii leadership through kick-ass marketing. Yes. So we got a marketer there. Liz up in Boston.
First, I just want to and I mean, that's where he works. Like, how amazing is that?
I actually reached out to Damien for just a small little need. Somebody needed somebody in Hawaii, and I was like, I know somebody in Hawaii that can possibly help you. So it's great to connect with these people online and on Twitter or LinkedIn or wherever we find them. Melissa, what's your personal brand?
Oh, don't. You put me on the spot. I'm just going to say one word, and I think it's being a CRE woman. I think that's probably the top of my brand, other than being a mom. I like to say I mix, I am hardworking, but I also am a mom, and I think that's just me, and I'm proud of who I am in this industry.
Yeah, it was really fun hearing what everybody says is their personal brand, and then realizing that they're right. Like, that's how I see this person as well. Our third question was, why is having a consistent personal brand important in commercial real estate?
So I think more and more people are, leaning towards working with people that they sort of trust and know. And, the brand behind that obviously gives credibility, but I think people are sort of wanting to work with people that they can align with on a personal level, that they share the same sort of beliefs, and they're able to kind of relate to the people that they work with. And through that personal brand, you're able to kind of tell that story, and people can then choose who they want to work with based on that. So I think, it's interesting how brands are adopting sort of influencers and working with influencers and using that as a way to kind of connect with their target audience through a more personal interaction. And I think that's going to be the way that it evolves over time, is that people are just going to rely on more and more sort of personal connections and, to kind of decide who they actually work with. So I think personal brand and brand development is massively important. I think as a person as well, it's also nice to have something that is transferable. I think that's the kind of test to how well you're building your personal brand. If you had to leave company X does your personal brand still survive, or is it so attached to the company that you're with that it all falls apart? So I think it is very, very important for the company you're working with, but also for yourself to kind of build something.
Yeah, you kind of nailed it. With this business is all about relationships. And can you guys hear me? Yeah.
Yep.
This business is all about relationships. And Sarah Terry made a great point. She said, CRE is about relationships. So others' perception of you and your brand can impact your business. So, and it will directly impact your income. So, number one, it's about relationships. So it's important to be consistent and be somebody that others want to work with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I also think it makes you more marketable when you change to a different company. They're like, oh, this person's an influencer, right? They have a legit personal brand online. They can bring something to us as well and help, our company's brand as well. So you guys are great examples of that.
Thank you. I loved Quantum Listings' answer as well, that first of all, an answer across the board was consistency. You have to be consistent at following through with your personal brand, continuing to be out there. But Quantum Listing also said not to the exclusion of evolution and growth. So don't be so consistent where it could be harmful. Like you constantly have to adapt. And another common theme in our chat was trying new things, seeing what works. And I know you guys talked about kind of measuring that as well. And one of the other questions that you guys answered. And also Eric Murphy says that a personal brand builds credibility, which I think is absolutely correct, and continuing your brand and that you have a following and it shows your expertise. And I like how Melissa always says thought leader in the industry. It really helps you get your name out there, your company's name out there, who you are and who you would be with, work with.
I think it also allows you to kind of pivot into other areas much easier. I think if you look at somebody like Barry Vaynerchuk and what he's done with his personal brand and how he's able to kind of pivot into different areas, and that's seamless. I mean, if he's doing a wine show, or if he's doing a marketing talk, or if he's doing a, whatever, I think people trust and respect him as a brand, and then whatever he's kind of talking about, that authority kind of goes with it. So it's easier to sort of pivot and branch into different areas much easier.
And so why do people think that building this personal brand is difficult?
Because it is. It's hard. It's hard work. I mean, 10 years ago when we all kind of were on social, it was really easy. It was just because there was just a handful of people. Now there's so much noise out there. It's hard to stand out. But I think the biggest thing is people, where they fall short is consistency, and also having a plan. So there's usually no plan from what I've seen out there. They just like, okay, I'm just going to sign up on Twitter, and then keeping it up, right? Work gets busy, family gets busy, life gets busy. So I think it's just making sure you're consistent. And Mark, what do you think?
Yeah, I think that is an important part of it is actually, the content that you're putting out to sort of build this brand. It needs to be content that is something that you can produce without it being, just too much effort in terms of what you're actually doing. So, if it's something that you love doing and it's part of your job and or you're part of who you are, then it comes a lot easier and you can create the content to build that brand. If you have to say, right, on a Tuesday night, I have to do this and it's a bit of a mission, but I'm going to do it because I'm going to build my brand. That's going to last for 6 months or a year, and then you're going to get tired of doing it and it's going to fizzle out. But if it's something that you wake up thinking about every morning and you're doing and it's part of what you're doing or how you're doing it, it's then I think that's the trick, is finding how to kind of package up that and what you're doing and how you're doing it, in a way that people can engage with it. So it must be easy to kind of build that content and part of what you're doing. And I think that's why it is difficult, because people look at the sort of frameworks or the templates that are out there and they're like, well, when am I going to find time to do a podcast or a video blog or, write a 500-word blog post or tweet 50 times a day? But it doesn't have to be that. It needs to be whatever you're comfortable and whatever you're sort of good at doing, and build the brand around that. And people will kind of gravitate to whatever medium or whatever platform you sort of pushing that out on. So.
Yeah, and Casey, I like what you said. You said, I think people don't understand the value of it. It's so true. Some people and companies have, no desire. But what's funny is really in the last year, I've seen maybe we should start looking into this, because our industry's been able to be so successful. Just, it's a great industry to be in. But now there's so much, oversaturation of the market that you have to stick out. You have to build your own brand. So, yeah. But again, it is difficult. So, which is why we're in business. If it was easy,
yeah,
I think we would be as successful as we are.
Yeah, and I think Gabriel Gonzalez made a great point. Sometimes we tend to overthink and overcomplicate it. He also said there's a fear of other people's opinion, which I get, because you're putting yourself out there in a sense. And there are going to be, haters going to hate, right? In the words of Taylor Swift. But I also said, when we were going through the Siri chat, something that just popped in my head. I will tell you guys, just honestly, I do these chats. I don't write out my answers ahead of time. I like it to be very spontaneous. So anytime I'm answering a question on these chats, I don't know what I'm going to say. It just kind of comes to me when I reply. And, how fast these are, you kind of think on your feet. But one thing that came to me was it's really hard sometimes, especially as a woman in this industry, to communicate your successes, because it's hard to maybe, I don't know, sing your own praises in a way. So, but you need to do, if you win a deal or you do something really great, you need to be communicating that as well as part of your brand.
There definitely is some sort of stigma when women are like, look what I did, versus men. For the haters like come out and with a vengeance when you're like, look how great I did. Who does she think she is? That type of thing. And I think the more that, we do sing our praises, I think it just becomes normal, right? And not self-serving. But listen, nobody else is going to do it for you. So you got to do it yourself, and we'll support you.
Amen, sister.
There's no haters over here, except for Mark. Mark's a little bit of a hater. No, I'm kidding.
Thanks, Sarah. Thanks very much. I think just one other thing to add in. So I on a personal level, I spend quite a bit of time on Instagram, and I'm big into like weird kind of photography and stuff, and I put a lot of my stuff up on Instagram, and I'm always amazed at like how few people actually comment and take the time to not comment like cool picture or love this or smiley face, but actually comment like on something. They see a photograph and I see a photograph that I love on Instagram, and I actually take like 5 or 10 minutes to go and write a proper comment about why I like the composition and the lighting and the effect that they've used. And I'm always blown away by how few comments there are of actual substance in these things. And I think that's something that people actually miss, that you think that you're online, that it's okay to just put a thumbs up or just say, cool or whatever it is. But, take the time to actually, comment properly or, create those relationships. I think that is a big part of building your personal brand, is actually putting in the effort to build the relationships. It's not just a one-way thing. If you expect people to follow your tribe, you need to put in the effort to actually get them to, to communicate and engage and meaningful sort of content or words behind these things. I mean, I'm speaking on sort of Instagram specifically, but I think that's something that always kind of blows me away.
And it's so true, because imagine you're at a party, right? And someone's like, hi, I'm Casey. It's nice to meet you. What's your name? And you'd be like, and then just walk away. You'd be like, I mean, what would people do, right?
So
So,
funny.
I mean, it's, you know, you have to remember that people love that genuine connection online as well.
That's something that I've definitely started incorporating. For me, it's on LinkedIn, just to make sure instead of I'm not like just liking their article, I'm commenting on it. There's a reason why they shared it. So, you know, what is that reason? Let's like comment like great post, great share, congratulations on your promotion. So
Yeah.
I think those are some really great tips for engagement and also putting your personal brand out there and also kind of feeding to the personal brand of the person you're commenting to. Which kind of brings us to our fifth question on CRE chat, which was, what are the top three personal branding mistakes that commercial real estate professionals make?
Okay, can I say the first one that I just think is awful? Is, you know, okay, they jump on Twitter, they don't have a presence, they're not tweeting anything other than their listings. That drives me nuts. So how can we get past just pushing out listings, guys? And should we put our listings online?
20% yes, 80% other, right? 80-20 rule. That's what it goes down to. Because here's the thing is, we're all here to do business, right? And we have to have some sort of return on investment on our time. I mean, it's great that we're all like, you know, working on our relationships 100% of the time, but the relationships isn't going to pay the bills. It's just not. So I think making sure that, you know, you build those relationships. And then when you have a listing, it doesn't feel spammy, right? Because they know that you're not a spammy person. You've already established that. So when you have something to say and you need help, you need people, you need your advocates to come, you need, you know, people to share your content, you know, of the content that pays the bills. It's cool. It's okay. You know, and I think the biggest mistake that people make is when they join and, you know, they put out a tweet for a first time or Instagram post, they're like, where are all the amazing results? Right? They're like, why isn't this listing, like, why aren't people coming to my website? Why am I not closing a deal? Like, why? And it doesn't work like that. It takes a long time. You know, it takes consistent work for you to see results, and it's worth it. 100% worth it. We've seen it over and over and over again. Also, you could be doing it wrong, right? So, but that's where we can help, right, Mark? I'm kind of offended. You're a little hypocrite right now. Because not taking the time to report and analyze. You know, all these platforms have amazing data, and it's really easy to just quickly look and see if what's working and what's not. And, you know, you look and see what's working, you put that on steroids and keep going. Whatever's not, you drop it and move on.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so on the flip side, what are your top 5 tips for establishing personal brand?
Making the sort of time, it shouldn't be an afterthought, like, you know, at the end of the day, I've got 5 minutes, I'll quickly squeeze it in. It should be part of your day or part of your week or your routine, that you're actually kind of building it into your task list for the day. I think not just pushing stuff and waiting for, you know, hoping for the best. I think engaging and actually looking for opportunities to engage, and that takes time. So, you know, using the search tools within the platforms to see, you know, what people are talking about, what, you know, your target audience is speaking about, seeing how you can really offer value to what they're doing, start the conversation. Yep.
Yeah, and I think, you know, in my mind, it's strategize, right? Put a plan together, set clear goals and objectives, then you execute that, then you report and analyze, understand how it's working, and then be consistent. And don't be afraid to take risks. Like, go for it. Be original.
Daniel, this
Fall
sounds like
flat on your face.
Yeah, that's a great point, because, you know, when Casey and I started this, I think someone just sneezed behind me. When Casey and I
Bless
started,
you.
well, we started CRE chat, and we talked about this on the last podcast. But everybody, we were kind of interviewing everybody about how they do a podcast. Everybody said, just do it, just jump in, you know, just get in there. There's going to be glitches. There's going to be times that you don't know what you're doing and things that you don't know how, that you're doing, but you'll get better as you go along. So I do think just do it is a great kind of suggestion and tip.
Mm-hmm. I did the same thing. I started a podcast called The Girls Club, and I had no idea what I was doing. And I was like, all right, just, called my friend who's in the music industry and said, can you create a intro track for me? And she was like, sure. And so, and then we just hit record and just went with it, but we have no idea what we were doing. And, but it worked out. So
we might need her number. We need an intro track, right, Casey?
Yeah.
Amazing. I mean, I don't know if you've heard the Girls Club soundtrack, but it's pretty awesome.
I'm writing it down right now. You guys too late to start your personal brand?
Sorry?
Do you think it's too late to start your personal brand?
For Mark, yes, but for everybody else, no. Just kidding. No, not at all. I think again, just Mark, can you just move a little bit to the left off camera? I'm just kidding.
How's that?
That's perfect. Just stay right there.
Brian, what's your brand?
No, but I'm just kidding. I love Mark. But no, it's not too late. You just want to make sure you're smart. Utilize the best practice that we, mentioned earlier. You have to have a clear plan. And again, I think the word of the day.
And those were kind of the answers that everybody gave. Was it's not too late. You just have to start. Just get out there and start it. But there's also the things that come along with it. Set your goals. Be consistent. I mean, those are just some of the common themes throughout this.
Yeah.
In our CRE chat.
I love what Beth Azor said. She says, this is her quote: "You don't have to be an expert to start, but you have to start to be an expert." So how cool is that?
That was amazing. I think we gave her the CRE chat winner of the day.
Yeah, CRE chat MVP goes to Beth Azor.
Award, something like that, because I was like, that's what it was. Yes. Thank you. Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, I mean, again, you're, no one's gonna know who you are if you're not on and you're not talking. You're not. It's just like, it's again like real life. It's you have to go to networking events, but who has time for networking events all the time now? I mean, I'm trying to be a mom and a wife and a co-president. And so time is money and I need to work smarter, and online is one of the best ways to reach a ton of people quickly. I could put out one post and tag 10 people and then get 10 responses and more.
So, to end our CRE chat and kind of to piggyback off of what you just said, where do you see the future of personal branding heading? Like, where is this something that we're going to have to continue doing, or is it something that you think is just here for now and then gone in 5 years?
No, I think the biggest opportunity is influencers. I think Amazon has the influencer program, and commercial real estate. We're really bringing in commercial real estate folks to start using influencers and paying them. So I think that's a big opportunity. I think data, artificial intelligence are also really, really big opportunities. I know whenever you can combine like creative and technology, that's really where the magic sauce is. And the one thing great about working with Mark is he's so on top of innovation and pushing the envelope. I mean, he's the one who came to, brought Sea Monster to us, and we did an awesome partnership with them, and they do 2D animation and augmented reality. I mean, they're just like, they're insane. And so we're working with them with some of our clients, and the work is magic. So there's so much opportunity moving forward in the future. I think it's just making sure that you're starting now. And so whatever it does turn into, you have a space online.
Did you guys ever watch that series Black Mirror? They have the like short episodes, like short films. You've seen Black Mirror, right?
No.
You know what I'm talking about.
I know you're
Must
talking
be.
about it.
Story's going to be lost on all of you, but anyway, there's one episode where they like jump into the future, and your personal brand is controlled by like your phone, and everything you do is rated. So if somebody brings you like a cup of coffee, you give them 5 stars, and that boosts your score slightly. And everything you do, like you want to book an airline ticket, they look at your personal brand and then they give you discounts. And if you want to get a table at a restaurant, they look at that score, and everything is like controlled by that score. And everything you do, people are able to kind of score you on everything you do. And it's like, seems like ridiculously far-fetched, but I mean, that's kind of the way that we're going. I mean, that like, you know, your interaction with other people and that brand is becoming more and more important. Maybe not to that extent, but
no, but it's true though. You're right. Cause it's not about, I mean, it used to be like Yelp, you'd rate the businesses, but now the individuals are getting rated. Every time I'm in an Uber now, I stress out. I'm like, in my family, we have an ongoing like competition of who has the highest Uber rating. And so, and basically we're like, who's the biggest a-hole of the family? Because if you have the lowest rating, there's a problem with you, right? And so Uber doesn't lie. Uber ratings don't lie. So always like every time we get in the Uber, we're like, hi, how are you? Like extra nice so we can make
give the driver some water and some snacks.
Would you like some water? I have a mint. It's true though. It's true.
Oh my gosh. I get in the Uber. I'm like, don't talk to me.
What's your Uber score? Do you know?
No, but I'm going to check after this. It's probably low.
After this, let's start it on Twitter with everyone and say, what's your Uber score? And let's all compare. No?
You're going to win this. So I'm just going to you're going to win this, Sarah.
Already lost. I don't have an Uber account.
Okay.
I'm done.
All right, maybe we won't play. Forget it.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining our CRE Chat Live podcast and also being our August host. We look forward to shooting this podcast out to everybody to listen. And again, thank you guys for sharing such valuable information without us reaching out. So I think it's been very helpful. We have a recap on LinkedIn. This podcast is going out, and we'll be sure to shoot it to you guys on Twitter.
Yeah, and I know Casey's wrapping up, but I just want to say, and I think I say this every time, but this was one of my favorite chats. She's laughing because I say it every time, but it was really, really good. So, we just really appreciate you guys.
Thanks for having
us. And you guys are killing it in the personal branding department. I mean, again, we do this for a living, and we are so impressed with you guys, and we are 100% supporters. So we'll be sending money your way soon. We're putting together an awesome influencer program. So stay tuned.
Well, thank you for
you guys deserve it.
Thank you for being part of our tribe. We really appreciate you guys and those who are around us that support us and cheer us on, because we couldn't do it without you guys.
Absolutely. You guys deserve it.
All right. Thanks, y'all. And we'll see you next week on our CRE Chat Live podcast.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.